All right, let's dive into a really powerful idea. The fact that your thoughts, your mental patterns, well, they aren't just things that happen to you. They're actually the architects of your reality. And in this explainer, we're going to explore how you can break that habit of just being yourself and start creating the life you really want.
So let me just ask you, does your life ever feel like you're just painting the same exact picture day in and day out? Once you get used to seeing yourself a certain way, maybe as someone who's always unlucky or someone who just can't catch a break, your mind just kind of keeps on painting that same old story. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But what if you could change that painting? What if you could pick up a totally new brush, choose a brand new set of colors, and create something you're actually excited about? Well, that's exactly what this is all about.
So let's start with this idea. Think of your mind as an artist. Seriously, the colors it uses to paint your life, those are your thoughts and your feelings. And the brush strokes it uses over and over again, those are your habits. And all of it, together, creates the canvas of your life. And here's the crucial part. Your internal state, how you're thinking and feeling, it isn't just reacting to what's happening around you. It's actively creating it. If you constantly think and feel like you're going to fail, your brain literally finds ways to make that a reality. But think about it. The reverse is also true. An empowered mindset can actually lead to better health, stronger relationships, you name it.
Okay, so let's get into the science of this because it isn't just a nice idea or some kind of philosophy. It's actually inspired by some really fascinating concepts, particularly from the world of quantum physics. It offers a totally new way to look at reality itself. This is something called the observer effect, and it's kind of weird. In the quantum world, tiny little particles like electrons behave strangely. When no one's looking, they exist as just a pure wave of potential, like every single possibility is happening at once. But the moment an observer looks, that wave collapses into one single physical particle. It's kind of like a shy actor who only takes on their role when they know someone's watching. So just think about it like this. On one hand, you have this unobserved particle, which is basically just a cloud of pure potential. And on the other hand, you have the observed particle, a fixed point, a solid reality. And the only thing that changed was the act of someone or something observing it.
So what on earth does this have to do with you? Well, your focus, your attention, that's a form of observation. When you focus your mind on a future that you want, you are, in a way, observing one single possibility out of an infinite field of potential. And by doing that, you actually start the process of making it real. Okay, so let's see how this all connects. We're moving from this super tiny world of quantum particles to the incredible universe that exists right inside our own heads. We're going to talk about the biology of how we change. Now, to really get how we change, you first have to meet the team inside your head. Your brain has three major players that are always working together to create who you are. You've got the thinking part, the feeling part, and the part that runs on autopilot. So, first up is the neocortex. This is your thinking brain. Think of it as the CEO, the big boss. It handles all your conscious thoughts, your rational decisions, and it's what pieces together everything you learn to create your sense of who you are in the world. Then you've got the limbic brain. This is your emotional brain. You can think of it like a personal journal that doesn't just write down what happened, but also how you felt when it happened. It creates these powerful long-term memories by linking them with strong emotions. It's why some memories just feel so incredibly vivid. And finally, there's the cerebellum, which is basically your subconscious brain. This is your body's hard drive. It stores everything you've ever memorized or made automatic, from how to ride a bike to your knee-jerk emotional reactions. This is really the seat of your habits. And this all brings us to one of the most important ideas in neuroscience. It's called neuroplasticity. Every single time you have a thought, specific brain cells, neurons, fire. And when you repeat that thought, those same neurons fire again and again, strengthening their connection. If you do this enough, you literally wire that thought pattern into your brain's hardware. And that's how a habit, and even your personality, is formed. Okay, so now we get it, right? We understand the why and the what. So let's get to the how. This next part is all about a practical, step-by-step blueprint for actively unlearning those old patterns and wiring in a new you. So here it is. This is the whole framework for making a change. It's a 7-step journey that takes you from just becoming aware of your old self all the way to taking dedicated action. We're going to break it down into 2 main phases. First, building awareness, and second, taking action. The first part is really all about getting your mind ready. It starts with a step called induction, which is just about getting your body and mind into a calm, receptive state, maybe through something like meditation, so you can access your subconscious. From that place, you can start to recognize the automatic thoughts of your old self. You honestly admit what isn't working, and you declare what you want to change. And finally, you surrender those old beliefs that have been keeping you stuck.
And this is where you really start to take the driver's seat. This is the action phase. You learn to observe your old self when it pops up, but you do it without judgment, kind of like a scientist watching a subject. Then you have to actively redirect your thoughts toward your new goal. And maybe most importantly, you mentally create and rehearse being that new person, feeling the emotions of your future self until it starts to feel completely natural. So we've covered the art, the science, and the blueprint. Let's just bring it all together and talk about what this really means for you, right here, right now.
Look, if there's one thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. The power to fundamentally change your life, it doesn't come from your job or your bank account or your circumstances. It comes from within. It's in your ability to consciously choose your thoughts and feelings instead of just letting them control you.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. What if all the potential realities for your life, what if they already exist, just like that unobserved electron in a wave of possibility? And what if the life you truly, truly want is just waiting for you to focus your attention, to change your mind and to choose it into reality?